I'm gonna have a merino slip. There's no.
So do you have a?
Undo this, pull the strap, take it off. I put them in the boat or in the truck. That way you know where they're at. Okay. There's an up and down on the engine here. You don't have to check the oil every time you go out. I usually do it once a month.
Okay.
Okay. Pull that. This comes up. Oil dipstick is right here. Okay. Pull there. It's super clear right off the bat. You can't hardly see it. After you get some time, it gets dark. But anyway, there's oil on the stick to there. Okay.
Okay.
So 20 hours, I do the break-in on 20 hours and then oil change. Then after that, it's once a year.
Okay.
Okay. The water should discharge here. You know, the water pump will pump and cool engine should discharge here. Oil filter, fuel filter. If you have a smartphone, you can scan that item there, and it'll tell you how to do all the maintenance.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you can put a hose here, drain the oil into a bucket. It's really handy. You can just scan that, and your smartphone will pick up on it. Tells you what oil and how much. We're using a 1030, 5.5 US quarts. And that just snaps in here, okay? In here, there's a fuse block. In your manual, it tells you what fuses do. But if something blows, don't just change it right away, because there's spares in there. You know, just figure out why something happened, and then change it. But very rare it happens. I'm just letting you know where they're at. So here's where you put the oil in on top, and that's really it under there. Okay.
What about winterizing it?
Run the fuel stabilizer. Real good fuel stabilizer. The Mercury branded, or the blue stable's my favorite. And just that last tank of the year, Mercury has a stable that's made for storage. It's bottle number 3, it's red. And you follow the recipe on the bottle, you dump it in, go for a boat ride. And put all the water, drain the gear lube, change your oil. Good to go.
So you change the oil at the end of the year, once a year?
Yes.
After your 20
After your break-in. Also on your gear lube, change that every year for whatever reason, just change it, okay? Sometimes you get fishing line in there, the seal goes out and it freezes and breaks. It's not a warrantable item, okay? So I always change the gear lube and the crankcase oil. And you do that and this thing will last forever. Okay? There is no primer bulb, like if you've had another boat before, you've had to pump up a bulb.
You do.
No more of that, okay? Don't run it out of fuel. That's our biggest thing, don't run it out of fuel. So there's no primer bulb, but everything's just smooth right into the engine.
How much does it hold?
Quarts?
Of fuel?
Gas tank.
Fuel, I want to say the tank says 32, but it probably only will hold 26.
Okay.
Okay.
What type of gas should
You can use regular is fine, but
Okay.
it'll take premium as well. So if you want to run the premium
Well, they
non-ethanol.
have non-ethanol.
You have non-ethanol, run that, that's good.
Is that better than regular? Or does it matter?
It's non-ethanol is always a little bit better, I think. Might be a little more expensive, but still put it in the stabilizer, okay? Because gas still will degrade.
So how often do you put stabilizer in?
Every time you fill it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but the stabilizer, do we know what stabilizer?
There's a Mercury one, or there's blue stable at the store. You can get them at the Walmart's, Auto Parts stores.
It's called stabilizer.
It's stable. Blue.
Stable.
S-T-A-B-I-L. It's blue.
Blue.
It's a marine formula. Dump that in, okay?
In the gas?
Yep. And your gas fill is over here. You'll hear it. It holds some pressure, okay? It holds about 3 pounds. It's this new fuel tank, and being that it's new, it took me a little while to get 5 gallons in, so just be patient, because it's got to push a lot of air out. And when you're filling it, stand back to the side, and then don't shove the whole nozzle in there, because they have those sensors on them that shut them off. You might have to, might only have that much into the tank, and then fill it up, okay? So you might only get about probably 26 gallons probably all you might get into it. But I did put 5 gallons in, so you might get 23, 22, okay? But you hear that pressure, and that was just a 5 gallons, so after it fills up, but everything breathes and goes through here. The new tank systems, they don't let us fill them up all the way. That's why
The gas is in the middle pontoon, Brian.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's all
Sweet.
balanced.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the other manufacturers, they put them right behind that wall. So it's really nice to do it, and it keeps the fuel cool, which is really important.
So when we fill it up, we should put some stable in there.
Put some stable.
Okay.
Reason being is, say you don't go out and use 25 gallons. Say you only use 5 or 10. Then you go fill it up again, and you're kind of compounding fuel that's old, gone new, and you get that layers. And you'll actually see layers in a jar if you took it all out. But I put in, run as much as you can. You'll figure out what you do. If you're
Doesn't get used a lot.
If you're not going to use it a lot, put the stable in it, okay? If something happens and you guys aren't able to use the boat, your fuel is already stabilized for a year.
Oh,
Okay? It's just if something happens.
And you can't put too much stabilizer in.
Yeah, just follow the recipe, and the initial dosage, if you put it a little high, it's not going to hurt it.
So are the tires all pumped up?
They should be all ready to go. It's not a bad idea because it's going to be hot. Stop maybe halfway to wherever you're going today and check the tire pressure. It's stamped on the side what it should take. And then when you get home, it's always a good idea to take a lug wrench and tighten down those lugs. And you have the grease, there's grease zerks behind the rubber cap there, and give it a fresh squirt of grease, okay? Because it's going to be hot and you're going to be towing it, 300 miles today? Or
Yeah, tomorrow morning we'll go.
tomorrow morning? Yeah, when you get halfway, check the tire pressures. And then when you get home, give it a fresh squirt of grease, and then give all the lugs
over there.
home to your Montana.
Okay.
Is this going to stay in the water, or is it going to?
It's going to stay in the water.
For the
Okay.
summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll take it out once a year and put it in once a year.
Okay. Well, just because everything's new, I would say after you get back to Montana, give the lugs a good tightening. 95 to foot-pounds, like that, and then give each bearing a squirt of grease. Okay?
How do you do that?
Okay.
You just take this off, and there's a grease zerk in there. Okay.
And then what do you do?
Yeah, how many pumps do you put in there?
I just put a couple,
Okay.
just to keep it fresh with grease.
Okay.
So this whole thing
I've got
there.
one of those too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, there's grease in there now, and you're good. It's got some grease on it, but it's hot. You're towing it. It's its first little weekend, so everything's gonna be breaking in. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the bearings are kind of the one thing that gets neglected on trailers, but once you get over there, you're not gonna worry about it. That's
Cool.
it. Snapped.
Easy.
There's that one lever. That's it.
The lever was right here.
Yep. This is a freshwater flush. You're not going to use that probably where you're at, but you just turn this out and you can have a garden hose and flush it out if you're in the salt water.
Oh, okay.
Okay.